when he look at a child, he see the face of God. And you know, if you're looking at the face of God, you're not going to hurt that person.
I think that he is pretty much a harmless spirit because somehow his childhood didn't produce what he required as an individual. So he's acting it out in a later date, at a later age. And that happens to a lot of people. So everyone goes through some sort of changes, and that has been like, you've heard more than once of things, cases where that type of thing has happened, where a man, you know, decides, I'm going to change my whole world. And he goes out and he does it. So Michael was the reverse. He never had a real world in the beginning, so he's creating a real world for himself. Let's just say that.
Now, could you tell us, what is the one about why Michael will get plastic surgery?
It's a lot of stars. A lot of people that's not stars that have cosmetic surgery. There's no difference. It's just that they want to bring it up mainly on Michael Jackson. I believe they just really pick up. If that's the case, there's a lot of weirdos around here.
Like you said, many people get plastic surgery, and I still shouldn't the person have a right to do what they will with their own face?
Yeah, that's his prerogative. He's got the money to do it. And if he feels, you know, good about himself, if he had so many surgeries, that's what he wanted to do, and that's what makes him feel good. That's the reason why people have cosmetic surgery anyway.
Yeah. Now, everybody, they think that this is so unique, the fact that he has children staying possibly in the bedroom with him or something. Now, according to that documentary, he never said that he had the child sleep in the bed with him. He said he took the floor and that the child slept on the bed. However, you know, dealing with, I've worked with a lot of children and teenagers or whatever, and I've observed a lot of things that's happened because I worked with people at camp and, you know, a lot of relaxed situations. And you have all kinds of extended families. You have people, you have godparents, you have, you know, friends of the family, you have this and that, and I've seen all kinds of people in the bed together. You know, and it's not or whatever, but you just see it happen. You know, you may walk into a room and then there's a bunch of people, bunch of kids, you know, in the bed together. I mean, there was like a time when I was coming up that you wanted an adult to be in the room with children because you wanted them to prevent something from happening, and you felt like that person would prevent something from happening. And I think that's the time that Michael Jackson grew up in at the same time. You know.
Yes.
And that day actually has not gone because I know there are times when a group of us, we will go maybe on a vacation, mini vacation or something, and the girls take a room and the guys take a room. We, as many people as can feel comfortable, sleep in the bed together. We don't have any negative intentions toward each other, so it does not matter. Because
you're sleeping in the bed with them, you're sleeping with all those people.
Pardon, if we can comfortably fall asleep, and you know, some of us would sleep on the floor because if there are too many to fit in the bed. Michael is a very honest person, and there should be more of us trying to be like that. He could very well have lied. I never have any children over into my room, and nobody would know the difference. But he was honest, and so he gets punished for his honesty.
Well, our culture a long time ago, when we were small, I mean, you can invite anybody over to the house, and you can say, like, if there's not enough beds in the house, you can just offer your guest your bed, and then the person that owns the house, he may sleep somewhere else, you know. And I think they're trying to twist that, try to make it seem like that he's sleeping with those boys.
Well, my first response would be that particular individual was the one with the problem, not Michael. Because when you take something good and continuously try and make a bad thing of it, then I think that is the person with the problem.
Where nobody even thought of children as a sexual toy or, you know, I mean, it's like it's sick to even think that just a child being in the bed with you that you're going to do something with them. That's to me that's ridiculous. And so just to assume just because this child is in the bed, maybe these parents see Michael Jackson, they know that he is maybe a role model to their children. There's so many boys out there who don't have role models. They don't have fathers. They don't have anyone. And I feel that he feels that he's being a role model to them. He's teaching them how to be a decent man, a sensitive man, and a caring man. And he feels like that's, something good that young boys should know about. And it used to be if you were the same sex, nobody even thought anything. Like one time I came in the room and my grandmother was in there and she says, she didn't have on any clothes, and I came in and I was like, I said, oh, I'm sorry. I was real little, and she was like, oh, we're the same. It doesn't matter. We're the same. It doesn't matter. So it was just like, it was no big deal. I mean, girls would change in the locker room together. We're the same. So it's no big deal.
But the sad part when you're a superstar like that, like Michael, when you're really on top of the world, superstar, you're always going to take one person to want to, and if he fires somebody that works for him or wish he had done back, and they'll turn his back on him because they came to me and said, oh, he did this. I said, yeah, right. Did you get fired from the ranch? Yeah, and people do that. They do things on revenge instead of, and that's unfortunate. But like I said, a lot of people are close-minded and be open-minded. And I think if people just mind their own business, they worry about somebody like Michael Jackson who's done so much for the world, but a president can commit murder and they don't do anything. I mean,
you make a good point, but which brings me to my next question. The media is a great tool in the world that can be used to either lift up someone or take them down. So in Michael's case, do we feel like we can see that this is kind of a case of the media lifting someone up? And for years, we've seen him as a great performer in the media. You see that all over the world, they lifted him up, and then they were putting him as number one. But now we've seen in the last, as these allegations came out after the first, they began to call him the self-proclaimed king of pop.
They call him the self-proclaimed king of pop instead of the king of pop. Justin Timberlake's and the artists say that they attribute their talent to Michael. Everybody's doing Michael Jackson's style. Everybody.
Yeah.
All of the new people they're doing his basic style.
Well, one thing that this gives us an opportunity to clear up is, and I want to hold up my magazine. It's the King of Pop.
Thank you.
And it's from a fan group. Over here in Michael Jackson's Dancing the Dream, in the introduction, if you care to read that, anybody who's looking at this one to read it, Elizabeth Taylor was the first person to call Michael Jackson the King of Pop. The fans enjoyed it. They picked up on it, and so we've called him that ever since because it was a good name for him because he is the King of Pop.
And we know that there are fans all over the world that love Michael Jackson. So is this a case of them lifting someone up only to tear them down because of the allegations? Do you believe it's a money game, or?
The media is trying to play into the public's eye on giving an impression on Michael as a negative one, and to make others think that he is conspired to do something hideous as such as this. And the reason why I believe that Michael is innocent in the first place is because everything that Michael has represented has been nothing but good. And all the roaming and all the rating that they have done on Michael Jackson's privacy, they have not been able to find anything to suggest any of these hideous crimes that they're saying that he did.